I think exploration is not just about acquiring knowledge. I think it's an engine for civilization. I fell in love with space, with astronomy and space and exploration of space. And based on that inspiration and the knowledge that a teacher gave me that I needed to study certain subjects to be able to participate and excel, that's why I became an engineer.
The core inspiration about space would definitely stem from just space Legos. Like, that was the ultimate one. Like, I wanted all of them. I didn't care about the ocean ones. I didn't care about the jungle ones. That was all nonsense to me. It was like, yeah, I wanted the stuff that could fly around.
I was always this sci-fi nuts and everything, so it was always part of it. When I was little, of course, I wanted to be a cosmonaut and everything. So it was just, for me, when I discovered the center, I came here to get my master's in architecture. To me, it was just, my dream came true.
Our notion of architecture, when we use the word space architecture, it's not about architects doing space. It's about architectures of space.
Somebody told me that space architecture was like actually a thing that people do, and it's not just like Star Trek or whatever. And so I was like, wow, I'm gonna totally try for that. And my teachers gave me the ability to do my own projects. And I started doing projects that were on the moon, projects that were in space.
The space architecture program is the only one in the world. It was instituted in 2002 as an interdisciplinary program that brought in both engineering graduates and technical architecture graduates.
What we do is not the kind of linear learning sort of thing. It's the kind of interactive, let's pick a big challenging project to solve, and let's work together and do it and solve it.
So you've got design and architecture, but you have to understand orbital mechanics. You have to understand the radiation environment. You have to understand that you're in a vacuum.
It's really a combination of architectural approach to design and design process with engineering technicality.
And I think with the new transition now into a more interdisciplinary environment institutionally for what we do, it's really ideal.
Well, we're moving the space architecture program from their architectural college into the College of Engineering, and we're actually in the process of doing that right now.
Because it brings together the wonderful resources of this university. We have such diversity of resources here, in talent, and people who are accomplished, and a community relationship with NASA and with the aerospace industry, and beyond that. Our setting, which is administratively now managed by engineering, and more particularly aerospace engineering, I think is a perfect fit.
You pick one of 3 different thrusts when you come into the curriculum. And you have 20 different classes you can pick from, because you're picking core classes that maybe a petroleum engineer would pick, or electrical engineer, or a materials engineer, or mechanical, but you have a focus on aerospace. So you might be picking an electrical systems class, for example, a control theory class. It's how you apply it in the aerospace side of it.
It is these future frontiers that show that interdisciplinary structure working together at the best of its ability, overcoming problems like we talked, political or financial, all those kind of issues.
As exploration grows, whether it be with NASA or their contractors involved in that, we hope to supply them with skilled graduates that have a systems engineering level understanding of the whole architecture, not just the design and the engineering, but things like logistics and orbital mechanics, and they don't have to train them to do that. Our graduates will have that skill set when they actually start working.
We have some of our graduates working in oil and gas industries, and pretty successfully, because it's more about understanding and what are the problems and being able to identify the problems and deal with problems.
Our students, when they go to work, some go to work for NASA. We've had students work on space station. They've worked on Mars exploration designs. We have many international students that go back to their home countries and work on environments that might not be just space, but again, extreme environments. They may be part of planning for their space programs.
And most importantly, they like what they're doing. And many of them are doing the same kinds of things there as they were here many, many years ago. So if we create an environment where that happens, that's pretty cool.
There's only one human center, NASA center in this country, and it happens to be here in Houston, Texas.
We got it all, and we've got a university here that has that diversity of resources and people.
We get direct contact with NASA, we get direct contact with people who work at Boeing or ILC Dover or whatever, and things that you could just never imagine to get if you were just a standard person who was just interested.
When you say how will space architecture play a role, understand it's all space architecture. Space architecture is the holistic view of how all these things get solved. Space architecture, again, isn't about architects designing the drapes for the space station. We don't do wallpaper. Space architecture is the logic that makes all these things comprehensible.